Are we? Okay, so hi, I'm Rod Thompson. I'm a representative of You Define Wellness, and today this is Practice Management 101, and today we have Rhonda presenting, and she's going to be talking about the 7 steps to pivoting during COVID-19. So with that, I will turn it over to Rhonda.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to Pivoting Your Business. I'm going to share my screen here, and I had it all set up, ready to go. There we go. So I am Rhonda Bolich-Lampo. I do live in Colorado, and I thought we would just kind of have an open discussion about pivoting your business, not only for now, but for in the future as we go through still dealing with COVID-19 and reopening and, trying to establish a new normal in our lives and in our businesses. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll run through 7 pivots to your business and then talk a little bit about Ikigai. If you've never heard of Ikigai, this might be your first introduction to it. It's kind of a neat concept, but this is a challenge, and as I learned, it could be the greatest thing that's happened to you, changing things for the better in your life and in your business. And faith raises your vibration. I'm sure we're all familiar with that concept. And we could be getting shown our bigger future. And in my case, I'm not sure about you all, but disruption has certainly created new innovations and a lot of creativity on my end. And it's showing you how to pivot when you need to, right? We were all in our comfort zones, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we all had to pivot, rethink, recommit to how we wanted our businesses to look in the interim and long term. So the first pivot is pivot your facts. As we all know, it's all changing and it's all confusing. It can be changing every day, every week. What's best practices? What are the new things? What is the new science? Sensationalism is certainly out. We want to stick to the facts and follow our inner guidance with all things that are being presented to us. And then, of course, real science is king or queen. So just know your facts, follow your inner guidance with that. Pivot your health. What were you doing before COVID-19 happened? And what are you doing differently now? So these are 2 questions that I'm going to actually ask you all to contribute to. What were you doing before? And are you doing anything differently now with your health? Kim?
Yeah, so before I was working out a few days a week. I hope you can hear me a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now I've actually started working out every day at lunch, which has been amazing. I found some different ways of getting that fixed in and not feeling guilty about stepping away from work or the kids to get that in. So that's kind of what I've been doing differently. And then obviously trying to work on eating better, which some days are better than others, but yeah.
Very cool. Mary, how about yourself?
Yeah, well, before, one of the things I miss is a dance class that I was doing every week. Don't have that anymore. And it's hard for me to do that at home. I just don't really have the space for it. But I'm walking every day. As far as eating goes, I've always really enjoyed cooking at home, but I'm finding that I'm doing a lot more of it now and not eating out. So even though eating out was pretty healthy in the past, there's sometimes when it wouldn't be, and so I don't have that temptation so much anymore. So
yeah, same thing for me. I'm cooking more. How about you, Rod? Anything that you're doing differently now?
There is more cooking at home. I have a lot more dishes to do. So yeah, and we're making different types of meals. So that has changed. What stayed the same is we still try and get out and walk when other weather and time permit.
Yeah, yeah. So all of those are great things. I mean, we all were probably conscientious of what we were doing before and forced to do things differently. And going forward, I'm sure we're going to see another shift or two with how we cook and eat and exercise and move our bodies going forward. Checking in on the state of your immune health is necessary to become more resilient for obvious reasons. And you want to improve your foundational health and nutrition. And there is a free health assessment there at that website if you would like to take it. It's like 2 to 3 minutes to take it. Pivot your mindset. So in some business coaching programs that I've taken, that I've been a participant of, my coach there has always said your mindset is 80% of your business. And so if you really think about that, it's like the quality of your thinking really comes also from the quality of your body and your health and your mindset, right? I am an avid believer and contributor to what I call writing in a gratitude journal and a dream journal. Every day, I wouldn't say every day, but almost every day. And I do 3 to 5 points. This is something that got me through some of the darkest days of my life, was writing in a gratitude journal. And so it's like always concentrating on the things that are going right, because that opens up for more. And instead of spiraling down, you spiral up. And then since January, I've been doing what I call a dream journal. So 5 things that you're dreaming of. Some people might be dreaming for this to end. Other people might be dreaming to travel again. Who knows what, or to visit family and be able to give them hugs. But certainly a dream journal has been a new practice of mine since January. And I learned that practice from Mel Robbins. If you've ever heard of Mel Robbins, she has what's called the 5-second rule. 5-second rule is basically when you're making a decision, you give yourself 5 seconds. You literally count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you do it. Because the 5 seconds in between thinking and doing, it doesn't give your brain a chance to shift and do something differently. And this will come into play a little bit later in one of the other points here. Faith or spirituality, as mentioned before, raises your vibration. If you improve your health, it's a byproduct. A byproduct is improved decision making. When you have a clearer head, we all know that when we don't have a lot of things going on in our head, stressing us out, it's a little easier to see more clearly and make a decision in the right direction. And in some circumstances, people are getting guidance outside of themselves. That can certainly be necessary. Pivot number 4, pivot your resources. Can you find hidden money in your business? Can you find hidden money in your life? So this is another exercise that I've been privy to have had introduced to in my business career, would be literally get a piece of note paper out and lay number 1 through 50 and come up with 50 ways to add money to your life. It can be anything. It can be walk my neighbor's dog, babysit for the family across the street, you name it. It doesn't have to be just now in this particular circumstance. It can be get a part-time job, get a gig job, get a job. If you're challenged in your business and in your self-employment life, that's one thing that can certainly relieve a lot of stress, is getting some other form of income coming in. And so the interesting thing about this practice of doing the 50 ways to find money in your life is that you get hung up at about anywhere from 10 to 20. So you can normally, what I would say, plow through, brainstorm the first 10 to 20 ideas, and then you kind of get stopped. And so it really causes you to think creatively about what you could do. I have a friend who paints, and so she has been painting and is now selling things on Etsy. So you just never know what your brain's going to come up with to find hidden money. You want to obviously prioritize your spending. I think most people are doing that these days, and better manage your budget. Budget years ago, when I was first introduced to it, I thought it was kind of an ugly 6-letter word, because that meant I had to stay within a certain constraint or confines financially. But I've since discovered that it can be, your best friend in managing your household and managing your business. So I actually have 2 budgets. One budget for my house, or what I would call my life, and then another budget for my business. And then obviously you can add on to those 50 ideas, create another stream of income, whatever that might look like for you. Point number 5, pivot your time. Double down on learning. So there's a lot of time that we're spending at home. There's a lot of extra time. Like, I know for instance, my husband is not driving to work, so there's an extra hour or 2 a day, and a lot of time that I've discovered I'm finding and learning different things. That several people are offering free workshops, free learning sessions. This is one of them, for instance. Just getting yourself some different education and some different ideas on what other people are doing. Working on projects, that we all have those honey-do lists or those to-do lists in our business. I have a list, an ongoing list of about 30 at all times. I think if we're entrepreneurs, are we all entrepreneurs here? Yeah. Entrepreneurs, you kind of tend to get an idea, and you might work on them for a little bit and then set them aside because you have another idea that jumped in, and then don't necessarily get back to it. So now's the time to work on some of those projects and get them completed and crossed off of your list. Join online networking groups. We do have a couple of networking groups, what I would call networking groups here at You Define Wellness. There is the speed networking for healers, which is the 3rd Wednesday of each month. And then right now there is the virtual wellness experience that is being held every Thursday evening. So, there's a ton of other groups out there. If you go to meetup.com, you can find other groups that are, beagle lovers and walking your dog together, that kind of thing. So there's lots of different networking groups that can happen. And there's even networking groups that are doing activities, Mary, such as dance. And they're doing it all online with each other. So create a schedule for work, family, movement, and play. I think, has anybody done something unique for adding to your schedule for work, family, movement, or play?
Yeah, my 2 sons and I played cards online yesterday.
Oh, very
It
cool.
was really fun. We all connected by a FaceTime with our phones and then got on the computer, and you can send an invite to other people to join your game and just play. We played like 3 or 4. We played backgammon, and there's just a lot of different fun things you can do that way.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks for sharing. Kim, how about you? Have you done anything different?
I've tried a schedule, so I have 2 young kids at home. So I've tried a schedule with them. Hasn't worked quite yet. They wake up at different times, and I'm not going to wake them up because that's when I can get my work done. So we're still balancing that schedule, but the main thing is I I guess the one schedule that we did create between my husband, myself, and my kids and I is we all work out around the lunch hour. So the kids know they have to get up and move, and then my husband and I also work out. So that's been nice. And then we also go for walks after dinner and stuff like that when it's nice out. So
Yes. So, and you have 2 kids, is that what you
yeah.
said?
Yep, 2
So,
little ones.
so are you going to be continuing this, do you think, through the summer, or what are your plans?
So we have a nanny. So I actually work full time, and then I'm starting my own business as well. So we actually had a nanny lined up for the summer already. We don't know what's happening. She's obviously, we still have her booked. She still said she can do it. I don't know. I said, if I don't go back to my full-time job, like at the office, I don't know if we'd have her, but with trying to balance everything, we probably would do at least a few times a week for sure, just so we can actually sit down and concentrate versus, can you play with me? Can you play with me? Mom, can I go on YouTube? You know, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
So then this is kind of, this point number 5 is kind of appropriate for you. You've had, well, let me ask, have you been working your full-time job as well from home?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. So you're doing it plus starting a business plus your kids at home.
Plus learning at home. And so, and they're younger, so it's not one of those where I can say, just go do your homework. It's kindergarten and 2nd grade. So you have to micromanage a little bit, make sure they're doing it. Kindergartner obviously can't read, so you have to read the instructions and stuff to her. So
right.
It's been a little challenging, but we're getting through.
Yeah, yeah. So on my next point here is, have you found some time to just breathe for self-care?
My self-care has fallen since this whole COVID started. But I actually am not working my full-time job this week due to having to take some flex downtime. And I was actually just telling my husband at lunch, it feels amazing. Like I did a longer workout today and got to actually sit down and play with the kids and not feel guilty. And I actually had a little bit of me time. So it's been really nice. So
yeah. Well, good. I always say self-care is important, right? You know, there's that good old oxygen mask analogy. You've got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anybody else, even more so now. Yeah. Yep. Rod, how about you? Has scheduling or anything changed for you?
Like Mary, we do a Friday evening family game night via online. So that's been great, and we will probably continue it, maybe not weekly, but periodically with the kids going forward, just so that especially with our youngest son being in a different state. And also, I was having an eye issue a month ago, really bad, and not wanting to go to the doctor with COVID-19. And so I got some healing sessions from my wife, and she got healing sessions from me. So nice. It's been, so I consider that part of self-care, because whenever you give a session to someone else, you also receive. So been doing that probably a little bit more frequently than before, but we periodically do go through periods, right, where we do it more often than not. But during the last month, I got more sessions than I usually do, just because it was
appropriate
dealing with that eye issue
and needed, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Sounds like we're all at least conscientious of what we're doing or not doing, which is important. Sometimes we can just go through life and, 10 years down the road, we realize, geez, where did all that time go, right? We're going to look back on these couple of months and go, geez, where did all those 2 months go? Let's see. Point number 6, pivot your marketing. So this is an interesting topic right now, because we've all had to change how we're marketing to our clients and to our customers. And it can also be for the long haul, or it can be interim. How can you best be of value to your clients and customers? And so, Kim, I didn't catch what your business is. So what is it that you're doing?
So I do financial coaching.
Okay.
So your budget point actually hit major,
Yep.
like it makes complete sense. So,
You know, and I learned that from a financial coach years ago when she said budget needs to not be a dirty word in your
it does
mind.
not.
Yeah. Yeah. And stuff. So, okay. So have you started marketing to clients or customers yet?
So I've done a little bit. I actually was partnering with a daycare in town and I was working with their employees. But since COVID hit, everything's kind of halted. So I'm actually taking this as an opportunity to actually work on my website and kind of just start getting things in order so I can really start pushing them out. But I've done a couple one Facebook video and stuff like that, and just helping people as they have questions. So.
Very cool. So you're doing Facebook live or just Facebook videos?
It was just a video. I haven't done anything live yet, so.
I don't do things live either. I do videos because they tend to stay longer, but you're definitely upping your visibility online then.
I'm trying, so.
Yep, yep. That, because we aren't seeing people face to face and in person, we all should be, and I am going to use the word should be upping our visibility online, because it's the only way people are going to find us and see what we're all about. And offline. Offline can be an e-newsletter that you send out or whatever you do person to person. How about you, Mary? How can you be best value to your clients or customers right now?
That's a good question. I don't know. I've been really thinking about that a lot, and I did create an Instagram page just for my business. I already had one for my jewelry. There's not much there yet. I really feel overwhelmed by all the social media. I've been trying to do more newsletters, but I don't like writing, so that's hard to do too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm working on that. I'm doing some phone calls to clients that I haven't talked to in a while.
Okay.
I feel like that's a good way to connect for me rather than the social media thing. So that's what I'm doing.
Yes. So social media can be overwhelming. Most definitely. I'm going to jump to the last point here where it says be consistent now and into the future. And then I'll go back to the other two. That is especially true on social media because people need to consistently see you, and not just now, but into the future, right? Because you're maybe changing a little bit about what you do in business, but it's the visibility. So there is the adage of visibility before profitability. So just know that, gosh, 10 years ago, it used to be 7 to 13 times people would need to see you before they would start paying attention to what you have to say. And that is now up into the 30s plus. So just because of social media and because of everybody, what I call the noise out there on the internet, it's taking 30 plus contacts with you or seeing you. And what I try to do it in an omnipresent kind of way, so that no matter where people are with you, they're seeing you pop up. Is that in their email? Is that on in text or messaging? Is that on social media? What platforms? And I don't do every platform. I think it's important to kind of pick one and get really proficient at it first, and then add a second or a third, or use the different platforms for different things. I know you said, Mary, that you have jewelry. One, that is obviously another stream of income for you, right? Mm-hmm. And you would market that differently than what you do probably for your business. Am I correct?
Yeah, and I have a question. There's always been, at least in the past, this kind of overall rule that don't bombard people with too many emails, because they'll just stop, they'll disconnect from you, unsubscribe. And so how many is too many? I mean, I have some people who are emailing every day, and I feel like I just don't want to see that anymore.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I just unsubscribed because I'm getting 3 emails from this one gal every day. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. So instead of me paying attention, I have totally shut her down.
Mm-hmm.
That is way too much. I do personal reach out emails, and then I send quarterly. This is what I do because it's my comfort zone. And I send quarterly an update to my entire email distribution as to what's new and what's going on. But there's my business coach, I get an email from her every Saturday. It's like a 3 to 5 minute video of a business topic. And it's every Saturday. And I was busy over the weekend. I didn't get a chance to watch it on Saturday. And so I watched it today. So, and it's a video e-newsletter, I guess. I don't know what you call it. It's kind of a blog, a video blog that she sends out every week. And she says, sometimes it's a pain to get another video up and to think of another topic. And sometimes she recycles her topics because they've become appropriate to the times again. And, but she says it is without a doubt, and she's got 10,000 plus on her email distribution. And she goes, people expect me to do it every Saturday. So sometimes she records several and then has her team push them out. So it kind of depends on what you want to do. If you want to do weekly, if you want to do monthly, it depends on how much creating. If you're not a writer, my personal suggestion would be, don't force yourself to write on a weekly or a monthly basis. Do it periodically, maybe every other month, and those kinds of things. I have a business page on Facebook that I post a lot of things to. So people who are also on my email distribution will see things there that I don't share with them in email, just because in my case, I changed it to that because there was just way too much information. I would be having to email out something weekly, and I don't want to spend hours and hours writing a weekly e-newsletter, So I don't know if that answers your question. The other thing that I've learned is I do not watch the unsubscribes. I do not look. I do not care who unsubscribes.
Yeah, I don't either. But so you talk about 30 plus hits before somebody starts really working with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're only emailing once a month and you're posting to Facebook maybe once or twice a week, that's going to take a long time before you get a new client.
Right. That's right. So consider posting to social media once a day.
Okay.
9 that can be just what I would call general information or personal lifestyle kinds of information, and then one about your business. There's actually 4 areas. There's 4 areas you should post to Facebook about, and I don't remember what the 4 areas are, but one is definitely lifestyle and one is about your business. And so people need to see you doing other things than being in their face about business all the time, right? You don't like people to be in your face about come here, buy this, buy that, join me, do this. So the same thing.
All right.
Yeah. I think it just takes time over the years. I had a lot of people that spend time in Colorado and spend time in Arizona. And so it was a way for me to stay in touch with them. And they can see things when they want to see things by going to the Facebook page too. Special offers. I don't know if you all are doing or considering special offers. Rod, are you offering any special offers now?
Well, we have the Healthy Living Savings Card, but we haven't done anything special for COVID because we price ourselves to be affordable.
Okay.
So, giving discounts really isn't aligned with our business strategy because I mean, we're just priced at a point where we want people to get access to us at all times.
Yes. So I don't do special offers either. I've got an idea of one that I'm exploring coming up, but and I don't do discounts either. I offer payment plans, but I don't do discounts. But other people, I mean, it's totally up to you and how you feel if you need to generate business. Doing a discount now, but the thing is going to be, you offer a discount now, are you going to continue to offer that pricing in the future when people's budgets may have changed for the better or maybe not? So just know that when you're offering a discount, you might want to think in a little further down the road as to how long you want to offer a special or a discount. So Kim, what are you thinking? Have you decided on anything?
So I did offer the daycare. I did give them like a discount. So
Okay.
I gave the daycare was covering the majority of the cost for their employees, and then their employees paid some, and then I had like a discount on there. And then so the daycare pays for 3 sessions with me,
Okay.
and then the employees go off on their own. So I did carry the discount forward with one of the clients. I don't think I'm going to do that again. It's too much to maintain for keeping track of everything. In regards with special offers, I do have a few packages laid out, so they can pay me hourly, or there's a couple different packages I created. But I'm still toying with how I have those set up as well. So
Yeah, but packages are essential, right? However you've created your business model, maybe packages are, the only thing you offer and
yeah.
stuff. So, which is a good segue into the final point here. I'm going to change the slide and pivot your business model. So now the time to make changes in your business. For Kim, you're just starting, so now's a great time to kind of roll out some things and see how it goes, and know that down the road you might need to tweak. I've tweaked my coaching packages 4 times now, so yeah. You can create conscious engagement. I know it sounds like you can't do that on social media, but I think you can. The more, if you join groups on social media, there are discussions that happen, or people will pose a question and you can pay attention to what they're asking and answer. I've had a good dozen really good engagements on Facebook just by answering a question that somebody's posed, right? Mary, this is for you. Take imperfect action. You do not have to be perfect at social media to take action, right? I am a perfectionist, a type A type personality, and I learned this the hard way. It's like, just do it. The good old Nike tagline, just do it. Because the more action you take, the more you will start to tweak it and get comfortable at it. It goes back to that consistency. I'm doing 2 videos a week, sometimes more, depending on when the mood strikes me or if I come up with a great topic. But, just take imperfect action. And sometimes the videos I kind of blunder through, and sometimes I laugh at myself. And other times, they're a perfect take on the first take, And I don't do lives. I record them and then I post them to Facebook. Because I want to use those videos for other things as well. So taking imperfect action was a big lesson I learned a couple years ago. So start a new business practice now. Is there something you've been thinking that you want to change with how you interact with your customers? that you didn't know how you were going to do it. Maybe you're going to change your fees. Maybe you're going to do more online appointments versus only in-person appointments. Now is the perfect time to introduce those types of changes because everybody's in that mode right now, and you can keep them going forward. And some business owners are going online only. I have several friends that have gone strictly online and are not going back there. And the offline, you can do a healthy combination of both, right? That's what I'm going to be doing. I like to network in person, but my calls and if there's a lot of travel involved, those are probably going to stay more online just because it's ease of attending or participating. Anybody thinking of something new that they've wanted to introduce in their practice, but they didn't know how or when they were going to do it? Kim?
I've been looking at doing more presentations. I do more individual coaching. So I was looking at doing my presentations. I actually I was going to reach out to like the library in town and just do like a basic financial training. I'm actually doing one with YDW coming up. So I'm pretty excited about all that stuff. So
good. Perfect. Rod, how about you?
Well, we used to do, I'll say, in-person workshops, usually one online, one in person a month. We actually transitioned during this experience to where we're doing weekly Thursday free sessions that are less workshop and more presentation. And we're actually taking a break from that for a couple of weeks. But one of the things that we started is actually posting the meditations on YouTube. So now I have the YouTube channel up and getting experience with posting the meditations. And fortunately for me, I'm just boring by nature. And so the meditations are very, monotone type things anyway. So they're not going to be engaging type videos, which I'm really horrible at. I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to get better. More practice, right? But with doing the meditations, we're getting more meditations out there and out on YouTube.
So that's good because I've been doing the same, getting more out on a YouTube channel. It goes back to that pivot your time. I didn't have the time before. It seems like I've had all the time in the world here the last month or so to upload videos to YouTube. Of course, me running out of space on my phone memory caused it to happen as well. But I will say this. I know, and I am personally involved in 5 organizations and entities who have changed their model of how they're doing business. One would have been a 500-person 3-day event in Southern California that people were paying, a couple $100 to attend. And that was in March. And she totally pivoted. She went to online and she actually had more attendees at a lesser rate. She dropped her rate down from like 197 to 27. And she got thousands of people responding. So if you do the math, 500 times, I'll do it really quickly. 500 times 200, we'll just do that. So 100,000 is what her in-person event was going to be, minus the cost of putting on the event. And I don't know how many thousands, but she said she's had over 5,000 people. 5,000 people at $27 is $135,000. And much less expense going out the door than an in-person. So, and another group that I'm in, they did the same thing. They cut their membership rate down and opened it up. And instead of a small group here in the Denver metro area, it's now Colorado and beyond borders. So opened it up to global. So, you know, there's a lot of different business practices that are being kind of tried out right now to see how it's going and being able to reach more people. So those are some ideas. Next thing I want to share with you guys is a concept that is called Ikigai. So Ikigai is a Japanese concept that means reason for being. And I happen to have studied Japanese for a year and a half. And a little bit, so I know a little bit about their culture and all. And the Ikigai refers to having a direction or purpose in life and making one's life worthwhile. And so in true Japanese fashion, they couldn't just say that, they created a diagram for it. And so here's your diagram. So I want you to, if you have a piece of paper and a pen, I want you to write down just 4 things off of this diagram. And the 4 are the big concepts. What you love, what the world needs, what you are good at, and what you can be paid for. So I just invite you to spend, 10, 15 minutes over the next 24 hours, might not even take you that long. Brainstorm really quickly what you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you can be paid for, and see what that brings up for you in a way to maybe pivot what you are doing now and what you can be doing in the future. So if you take a look at the diagram, obviously Ikigai is in the middle. That's the Japanese word for the concept. So what you love includes passion and your mission. What the world needs overlaps with mission and vocation. What you're good at overlaps with passion and profession. And then what you can be paid for is obviously your profession and vocation. And all of the, but if you just spend some time answering those 4 big questions, that will give you some direction as to what you can be doing. Any insight, any observations from this? What do you guys think about this?
I think it's really good. I mean, it hits everything. And, if you're doing what you love and what you're good at, it's a lot easier to get purpose out of your life, and it means more, and the money is just gonna come. That's kind of, as you do your passion.
Yep. So, so there's another Japanese principle, Kaizen, that I will share with you guys because it just popped up. You know Kaizen, Kim? So Kaizen, for Mary and Rod and anybody else listening, Kaizen is a principle of always improving. And the best way to illustrate that concept, as it was told to me, was like, remember back in the day when we had the Sony Walkmans that were just radio? You could just get AM and FM. And then they're like, okay, then they added cassette. And then that changed to CD players that were mobile, right? That has then morphed into our phones. It morphed into iPhones and iTunes there for a while. And so that's all Kaizen principle. It's like, what do you have right now and how can you step it up to the next level and improve upon it? And so that's the Kaizen. And Kaizen is K-A-I-Z-E-N, Kaizen principle. So, and just a quick review of the pivots. We have, pivot your facts, your health, your mindset, your resources, your time, your marketing, and your business model. And so, does anybody have any other questions or comments or anything that has come to mind that you want to share?
I have something when Mary asked about how often is too often. I know I've been unsubscribing to the ones that I get daily because I just can't keep up.
Right.
Because if you don't check your email that day, the next thing you know, you have one from every day and you have, 7 emails that you haven't read because you weren't on your emails for a week.
Yeah.
So I really liked your business coach's idea of at least maybe weekly, if not monthly. So
Yeah.
it gives people a chance to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not so overwhelming, and if it's something that's not, and there's a difference between an e-newsletter that's this long and one that's like this long, right? That they've dumped everything that they're currently thinking about into one. If it's too long, people won't read it. So you're better off, and this goes back to you, Mary, asking that question, you're better off to do shorter snippets of information than to have long diatribe emails of everything that's happened or you're planning it's happened over the previous month and you're planning for the next month or the next quarter or whatever. So smaller snippets of information. The weekly video email that I get from her, I think I mentioned, is right around 3 minutes. She tries to stick to 3 minutes. Sometimes she goes a little longer than that, but you definitely know. I think it goes back to when we were talking about before as to how long things are. You look and it's like, oh gosh, that's an hour and 9 minutes, not now. Or you can look at it and it's like 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Okay, I've got time right now to listen to it. So, I do those as well. It's like, do I have time right now, or does it need to be just saved and marked for flagged for future? So, what about you, Mary? What's an insight you've gotten today?
Oh, just that there's a lot of wisdom here. So thank you for sharing.
There's a lot of information. Yeah.
No, I think we're all kind of in a creation mode right now. I think it's really a time to be creating and thinking about, what do I want to change? So I love that you really focused it and really turned it into these specific points to look at.
Good.
So thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Rod, how about you?
Just a lot of good information I had to process. So I won't,
Yes.
but I mean, it does highlight the fact that we've already been pivoting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like maybe go back and refocus and say, okay, we repivoted, but step back, take a look. Is that the direction that we want to be pivoting? And is that something that we want to continue forward?
Right. Because I think you guys have probably seen some businesses that, like, in the blink of an eye, shifted how they were doing business, and it's working for them, and they're probably going to stick to that for a while, or maybe even long term. And there's obviously those that, at least in the area where I live, you can see where people are just now coming around to thinking, oh, I maybe need to do this or do that. And it's like, in some cases, you're about 2 months behind the curve on that one. And that's neither good nor bad. It's just that, a lot of people were able to pivot really quickly. And it was certainly nothing that was planned, right? And the entire planet got involved in this one. So
now one thing that we've learned is that people get zoomed out. My oldest son is doing online schooling now.
Yeah.
And so come Friday night when we do, online gatherings, he's just like, he's got limited attention span because it's like he's been spending his whole week on Zoom. Clients, it's like we got a client that is just like, she's anxious to get back to in-person sessions because just so much Zoom. So I think we're reaching a point where people are going to be very anxious to get back in person. For us, it's not going to be right away. We're still going to be doing online meetings with clients, and hopefully that they will understand, but it's because there's just going to be so many regulations about cleaning and stuff like that for a while that we're just like, we're going to be going slow.
Yes. Well, I think, you know, a month ago, it was all the novelty of Zoom, right? For some of us, I've been on Zoom for years,
Mhm.
at least 3+ years. So I'm like, okay, now everybody's on Zoom. And for the newbies, they're like, this is cool. We can do everything on Zoom. And it was the novelty of it, being able to have a meeting, have a board meeting, have a session, have, you know, do a discovery call with a client, whatever. And I think you're right, because I've reached my point in some, by the end of the week, that it's like, really, I am so, what I call it is, my ears get tired, because I have earbuds in most of the time. My husband's working from home as well. And so I have earbuds in most of the time, plus the fact that there's a house being built next door and you hear the beep, beep, beep of the construction equipment if I'm on my regular microphone. So, yeah, by the end of the day, by the end of the week, you know, our ears and our brains and our eyes need a break from the screen, right? We all know that. We're in health and wellness or well-being of some sort. We all know that staring at a screen is not good forever, all day long. Yeah. There's certainly the convenience of it in certain circumstances. Organizations that I've been in that they would just cancel meetings because the weather got bad because of snow. Now they've realized, oh, wow, we can have a meeting online. And it's like, yeah, I've offered that up before. So, yeah. But anywho, so Rod, I think that was a good discussion about how to pivot.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rhonda. That was
Yeah,
very informative.
you're welcome.
I will just give a little pitch. We do have the Healthy Living Savings Card through You Define Wellness. That is, gives you some discounts to a lot of practitioners that are in the network. I want to thank everyone for attending today, and I want to thank Denise and You Define Wellness for sponsoring these Practice Management 101.
Yeah, and I can be reached at Rhonda at thewellthypeople.com, and we spell wealthy WELLthy. So if anybody has any thoughts or you want me to share anything with you, I'd be happy to.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and wrap up the recording, and then